When you hear the words intercultural communication, what does it remind you of? I guess you think about having a talk with foreigners, for example, in English. Intercultural communication is not just between one nation and another nation. It is not such a big thing. Differences are just a natural thing. Yes, differences are everywhere. However, I can see the people who cannot accept differences between him or herself and others. There are three important things for cross-cultural communication. What I want to talk to you today is the idea of 3 A's: awareness, avoidance, and acceptance. Differences are real and can lead to prejudice. Therefore, the important first step is to be aware of the prejudice, which you may already have. Look back at past. You might have hurt someone else unconsciously because of your prejudice. Last year, I was in Korea for study abroad, and this was the first time to visit abroad for me. When I decided this and told my acquaintances excitedly that I'd go to Korea for overseas study, almost everyone asked, "Why did you choose Korea?" Or some of them said, "You don't need to study in Korea. I've heard that Korean people are not good at English." Even if they knew I'm interested in learning Korean, and I really considered about where I should go. I was very annoyed at the time. I was very shocked by such thoughtless words. I know the reason they asked me that is because I'm in the English department, so they believed I'd go to an English-speaking country. But it made me feel stressed. My second experience is really hard to tell you. During my stay in Korea, one of my friends from my high school days came to see me. So we met up at a cafe and we were talking in Japanese because she cannot speak Korean at all. 2 Korean women came to us and looked at us sharply and shouted, "Why did you come here? Get out right now!" in Korean. Fortunately, my friend was just laughing because she didn't know what they were saying. But I didn't want to understand it and wished I hadn't learned Korean. I would rather not experience such things. But it is a fact that you are able to become aware of the prejudice through experiencing it yourself. This brings the first step, awareness. Then, the second step for cross-cultural communication is to avoid misunderstanding and being influenced by one-sided opinion. When you think about Korean people, what are the first 3 things you imagine? I don't know what you're thinking, but I guess some of you imagine bad things about them. We are surrounded by a lot of information, and we can get them easily through TV programs or social networking services. This year, Moon Jae-in was elected as the president of South Korea. During the election, Japanese media mainly broadcasted how much the candidates hate Japan and warned that Japan and South Korea's relationship would get worse. I was very annoyed at the time because the Japanese media reported as if all Koreans are anti-Japanese. However, actually, there are many more Korean people who like Japanese culture than I expected. I met plenty of Korean people who treated me nicely, even if they knew I am Japanese. Because of the limited information which the media broadcast, people tend to think all the people who come from X country are bad. If you have ever thought that way, you have been completely influenced by these bad images. We all have grown up in different countries and cultures. Absolutely, it is just a natural thing for clashes of opinions to happen when one culture meets another. However, when this happens, we should not feel that our life is being invaded by something new. We should have a wide view to avoid such prejudice and live together with that new things, because now Japan is in the process of internationalization. This avoidance is step number 2. The last step for cross-cultural communication is to accept differences. See your neighbor. Do you all have the same way of thinking? Do you all have the same background? I'm sure you do not. Haven't you ever thought that something that one of your family members said or did was unbelievable? Yes, I certainly have. We family members have spent a lot of time together, but sometimes I feel, oh, just wait a minute, about their speaking or behaviors. Maybe they also feel that about me. In my case, my sister and I used to argue every single day because I almost couldn't understand and agree with her opinion and behavior. This is because my sister has learned culture which I did not know, for example, in her school days and workplace. Similarly, I have acquired different thought patterns through my school days, part-time job, and friendships. As I said, we used to quarrel many times when we noticed differences. But we don't fight anymore because we started trying to discuss whenever we felt we were getting into a fight. Trying to force your own values on someone else is likely to have no effect. You should not feel uncomfortable with something different. Please accept other people's culture and ideas. To sum up my speech today, the 3 A's, awareness, avoidance, and acceptance, are important. Be aware of the prejudice towards something new or different. Avoid believing limited information, and accept the existence of values and cultures which are different from your own. Thank you.